another thing that you talk about in the book is the greatest killer of creativity is interruption.
Absolutely.
When you're thinking about people who are running businesses, it's almost constant interruption.
The managing director has occasionally got to be absolutely brutal about the need to be uninterrupted for a period of time. I say at least an hour, because when you first settle down to think, to play, all you can think of is all the things you should be doing. So close the door, and if you're up the top of the organization, you'll have a PA or a secretary and say, I don't want to be interrupted unless there's a fire. Come back to me in an hour and a quarter and bang on the door. And don't interrupt me otherwise. And you see, people who are not creative have no idea how destructive interruptions are.
Thinking tomorrow when I've got everything out of the way. Because, as we all know, it's easier to do trivial things that are urgent than it is to do important things that are not urgent, like thinking. And it's also easier to do little things we know we can do than to start on big things that we're not so sure about. So, when I say create an oasis of quiet, know that when you have, your mind will pretty soon start racing again, but you're not going to take that very seriously. You just sit there for a bit, tolerating the racing and the slight anxiety that comes with that. And after a time, your mind will quieten down again. Now, because it takes some time for your mind to quieten down, it's absolutely no use arranging a space-time oasis lasting 30 minutes, because just as you're getting quieter and getting into the open mode, you'll have to stop, and that is very deeply frustrating. So you must allow yourself a good chunk of time. I'd suggest about an hour and a half. Then after you've gotten to the open mode, you'll have about an hour left for something to happen, if you're lucky. But don't put a whole morning aside. My experience is that after about an hour and a half, you need a break. So it's far better to do an hour and a half now, and then an hour and a half next Thursday, and maybe an hour and a half a week after that, than to fix one 4.5-hour session now.